What's going on, guys? BladeZilla here, and today I got a cool one for you. This one has just been restocked in the store, and you know what? I originally brought some in and they did really well, and I didn't even get a chance to film a video on it. So this time decided, let's grab one, let's do a quick 10-15 minute video. I know there's lots of content on this, but figured I'd at least on my side get some time with it. So this is the TRM Atom with the lizard skin tie scales. Beautiful, beautiful knife. So that's what we got on the docket today. Put this guy down. So really special knife, really cool knife actually. A lot going on for a really good made in US price point with good materials. So sit back, relax, and kick back, grab a coffee, a wine, a beer, whatever your fancy is. As a reminder, check out BladeZilla.ca. That's my store. We are in Canada, in Calgary. Lots of good stuff, lots of Shiros, CKFs, Microtech, Protechs, TRMs, Riot, lots of good stuff. Just added these superlative Tyrants and Crusaders. So pretty cool knives as well. Kind of a little different look, but really cool nonetheless. And, but that's not what it's all about. On BladeZilla.ca. It's about this knife today. So I can already tell, just based on looking at the screen of my camera, that there's so much light coming off of this knife, it's freaking out the camera sensor. So it's very rare when I film these videos to have something like this that throws so much light off that you can just see how the camera sensor's trying to adapt and kind of darken it up when I rotate it. That's not normal. And I'm telling you guys, these scales are bright. There's a lot of light coming off them, really cool texturing. They call it lizard skin. In the Atom line itself, they have, without checking, I don't have any information beside me, but without checking, I think they have G10, carbon, micarta, and then titanium, and I think they even have plain titanium. Don't quote me on that, or maybe they might even have denim, micarta. Anyway, a number of different options. Really cool, actually. Really cool level of options. But for me, and if you've followed me long enough, you'll know I love milled titanium, plain Jane, with a little kick to it, and that's exactly what this is. And more so than anything, the actual scales themselves provide a lot of grip, which is awesome. Just from a usability standpoint. So let's take a look here as well. I believe it's 20 CV. TRM USA, 20 CV on that stonewash blade. Really nice. It looks to be a flat grind on there. Really nicely done, all very consistent, all dead center. Thumb studs, no flippers. Scales attached externally. As you can kind of see, it holds the lock in there. And then we've got on this side, I think they're pretty tiny, probably T6s. Kind of pinches it all together. What floors me the most is actually how thin this knife is. By comparison, like, to me it's very Grimsmo Rask-esque. So I've got a Rask here actually to give you an idea. Very thin knife. So some people look at the specs, much like a Shirogorov, and they think these knives are, you know, very big or whatever. It's a very thin knife, very pocket friendly, which is awesome. So let's do some comparisons here. So first up, we're going to do the Rask. Mind you, the Rask is a flipper, whereas this guy is not. So two very different kind of mechanisms to launch the knife, but I think that in my collection, it has to be the closest size-wise of the batch. So there's, and we can flip these guys around to kind of make one look bigger than the other. It doesn't really matter. They're very close. Dimensionally, I don't actually have my measuring tape, surprisingly again. I actually just moved this past week for the first time in a decade, and just setting this up was a bit of a difference maker for me, so I'm pumped that everything's set up, but I cannot find my tape measure. I will find it though. So that's a pretty good size comparison there versus the Rask, and we'll go through the regular Shiros. I know people really love that, so let's go Astrum. Let's move this down just a hair. Really good size actually on the Astrum. The Astrum's quite a bit longer, but you know, thin. We'll do the Quantum. This is the, I think I grabbed an, yeah, Monkey, or not Monkey Edge. This is the E-Knives Quantum, multi-row bearings, thinned out, beautiful knife as well. Do we want to do any of the fancy ones, or do you want to go to the Ursus? What do we want to do? Let's go to the Quantum Ursus. Just why not? I love those black G10 inlays on this. We could do the Oz Roosevelt as well. Super cool knife. This is the radial pattern. I think this one's 20 CV. I don't think it's MagnaCut, is it? It might be MagnaCut actually. Might be one of the early ones. Pretty cool. We can do a Trevor Berger Urban. I would love to see actually a Trevor Berger Urban XL. Have yet to grab one of those and take a peek, but I think that's exactly my style, size-wise and everything. And where's my Sabenza? Do you want to do a Zahn? Zahn? Let's do a Zahn. So here's an S45 VN drop point Omnum Zahn, and that guy is more of a, I can't remember what they call that. They just call it blasted. It's not glass blast. It's just their blasted variant, which kind of has a bit of a sandpaper feel to it. Really, really nice. Really popular as well. But size-wise, compared to the Atom, very close, as you can kind of tell. Very close. It's a big knife. It's their biggest knife, I believe, for TRM. They have the Neutron 2, which is a little bit smaller, in the lizard skin kind of tie. As well, and then they have the one kind of smaller series than that, and I think it's called the Nerd, which is a little gaffer, also really cool. They've kind of all been pretty equally popular, with the exception of this Atom, just because they, you know, it is that, I want to say it was like 3. I'm going to get the spec sheet here. I'm just going to quickly look it up. I normally measure this stuff, but I thought it was around 3.5. Yes, so I just checked it out. Yes, it is 3.5 inch blade. So it's kind of like their bug out, so to speak, size-wise. Although I will say it's thicker than a bug out. Those bug outs are really, really thin. No one ever really talks about that. So this is to me more of a neon-esque kind of knife, but I'd say it's even thinner than a neon because the Rask is quite a bit thinner. So they do offer it in MagnaCut, I believe, and the 20 CV seems to be super popular. People love 20 CV. They really do. MagnaCut comes at a premium. I want to say it's like 35 bucks more. I could be wrong, but I want to say it's around that $35 price point. So a lot of people just love 20 CV. They'd rather put that extra money towards the scales and kind of get that cool lizard skin pattern, which I totally dig and agree with. Thumb studs as well, they're not curved. They're kind of, how can I explain this? They're like an outward mushroom kind of feel to it. They provide good traction when you do want to pull them out. Nice and smooth. Liner lock has a bit of a jimping on it, a bit of a ridge line. And I will say this too, because I've always done this when I roll the knife with Shiragorovs, and maybe I'll actually show you exactly what I'm talking about, because I know the crossover between Shirogorov and TRM, I might be talking to a different user group here, so here's a Hattie, which is Shiro's F95 half tie. Hattie, which is a carbon scaled F95. And I always use this in videos because I roll the knife like this and I show how the lock bar is raised. It's just a good contrast between black and titanium. So you see it really nicely here, okay? They have jimping here, which also exaggerates it a little bit. Or not jimping, sorry, beveling on the carbon fiber, which just nicely adds to that whole nice smooth transition between the show scale and that lock bar, okay? So I like to show that on all my Shiro videos. And as the camera puts on sunglasses here to this, you can kind of see they're doing something similar to find that lock bar. They have that nice kind of milled cutout here, which works really, really nicely. It's stepped, layered. Oh, it's gorgeous milling work. And then the actual lock bar itself, I'll bet not the same quality, I'd say, as a Shirogorov, but it's also a third of the price, let's be honest. But it's a liner lock and it's just kind of grooved, which is awesome. For me, if I was going to take this one step further, I'd love to see some angling, some angle work on there, but I'm just telling you, based on how thin this knife, I don't know if that's even possible. It's just so thin that I don't know if there's room for that. So in its place, instead of maybe putting a bevel on that lock, I think what they do is they say, hey, let's add some grip, some jimping to it, and good enough. And quite frankly, good enough is good enough. I think it works great. Doesn't feel cheap, good action, nice and smooth, still got some good spring to it. Makes me happy. Now, I'd be curious to know how these guys break in over time. So I might grab one and use it for a month or two, throw it in the pocket, just because it's such a good carry that I don't know why this wouldn't work well for me. Just to kind of get to know one, I think. Be great. It's a deep carry clip as well. It's like a full deep carry clip. So when this guy's in your pocket, you're talking like the whole thing's hidden, which is awesome. You know, it is a more of a standard wire kind of a clip to it. Nothing fancy. Keep it simple, stupid. And I will say, it's the same clip on all the models. Okay, so whether you get G10, micarta, carbon, titanium, it's the same clip, which is great. It is not reversible. Keep that in mind as well. So you cannot transplant it, although I believe you can take it off. And I love how it's accessible through the actual clip via screws so that you don't have to kind of have special bits to take it on and off. So that makes a lot of sense. Let's get a weight on the knife, as I did not actually weigh it, but people love seeing the weight on a lot of this stuff, and I agree. A 3.5-inch knife should be competitive. Should be in that 3.5 to 4 ounce range. So we're 3.9. I don't know if that is that even on camera. There we go. Let's do that one more time. 3.9. Yep, with tie scales. Like if that had G10, micarta, whatever variant of it, I bet it would be lighter, just because they tend to weigh very little. I did want to look inside this. I think they were plain. I don't see milling on the inside. So, it makes me wonder as well, the fact that they're such gorgeous milling on the outside of these scales. Clearly they're able to do some really cool stuff. Why wouldn't they do something fancy and special on the inside? I'd love to see it. 3.9 ounce knife. I bet you there's a couple ticks that they could take off by doing some cool work on the inside. And maybe that's something that comes down the line for them. Maybe they go, hey, let's do a different variant of the knife. Let's do a signature series or a limited edition or whatever where we mill it out. And I'd love to see that. Just because I feel like they have the capability of doing it more than anything. It's a great knife, honest to goodness. I have no qualms recommending this to someone that is looking in the market. Say it's one of their first titanium American-made knives, and they just want to try something cool. They want to see what titanium's all about. They you want to see what cool milled scales are all about, but they don't want to spend $1,000 or more. And I think this really ticks that box. You know, even the Grimsmo Rasks now, they're north of $1,000. Now, are they the same level of fit and finish? Where's that Rask? There we go. Are these the same level of fit and finish? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Two different knives, you know, Canada versus US, you know, milled at two different levels. You know, just everything about the Rask is, there's a reason it's 3 times the price, right? There's a lot more detail. But for the average person who's going to carry a user that's titanium, you know what? Like, these TRMs are gorgeous and well done. They really are. So are the Grimsmos. By the way, on the Grimsmo side, how many people have tried out that new integral they made? The Fell, I think it's called. I'm still trying to get my hands on one. I think the first 100 are available, but I cannot seem to win a lottery or anything. So if anyone wants to send me one, I'll pay shipping. I'd love to take a look at one. Also, Grimsmo, if you're watching, I'd love to stock your knives, just saying. I'm in Canada. You are Canadian. Just saying. A guy can dream, eh? What else on this guy? I guess in hand, I should probably show you. So I am a extra large glove, and I've got a full finger on the end here that if I had a 6th finger, or if I wanted to use this with gloves, I could. There's no jimping down the blade. It's nice and smooth the entire duration of it. So it is, like I said, a thinner knife, thinner carry. Keep that in mind. We have a triple standoff here instead of a backspacer. Not sure if one of those you could tie a lanyard on. Let's just take a look here where that blade gets. How close do we get to those? We're pretty close. I don't know if you could tie a lanyard to this, looking at it. If you could, it would be on the back, the final one. And let's be honest, you could also put it on the clip or something, tie something on there, like, or wrap it underneath. You could do something if a lanyard was important to you. But it is kind of cool to see that triple standoff. You know, most knives will do one. And do I have one? Here's a Quantum, which all of a sudden feels monster thickness comparatively, and it's a fairly thin knife. It's like half the width. So single standoff. So there you go. It's rare to see 3. That's kind of a cool. It's a cool way to go, actually. Grimsmo, I believe, does 2. And looking at this even looks thicker, the Rask. I didn't think that was possible. If you have a Rask, you'll know it's a thin knife. This is thinner. And I do I have anything else that's kind of thin enough? Super, super thin? Not really. Not really. So there we go. 3.5 inch blade, 3.9 ounce. 20 CV, available in a couple different metal configurations and handle configurations. It's kind of like a build your own knife set up on their website. I'm stocking a couple different variants of the knife. Currently, just because I really dig them, and knowing me, I just like titanium, so I like to stock the cool titanium stuff. Get them while you can, I think, but I will be stocking as many TRMs as I can get my hands on. They seem to be a really good value, good price point, and they're just banging it out. So. Really cool, and I love how they've got the dead end hardware here, kind of the polished look. It's just a well put together knife. I was not expecting this, and the triple standoff. I'd be kind of curious to know what they're doing up here, next to that stop pin. You can kind of see there's a bit of an insert there. I'm wondering if that must house their bearings, and then the scales kind of just sit on top of them. I'm assuming that's how it's done. Real nice, real nicely done knife. Very impressed. Anyway, I wanted to do 5 minutes and, or sorry, 10, 15 minutes. I'm sure I've passed 10 already. I'm probably at 15, knowing me. And, oh, TRM USA, cool. Just wanted to show a cool knife again. Check out the store, BladeZilla.ca. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, geez, all the socials. Typically on them, so follow me there. If you have any questions, send me a DM, send me a note. I'm always interested to chat and you know, chat with you guys about knives and ideas and brands and stuff. If there's anything that you guys want to see in the store in Canada that's, you know, harder to get your hands on, or just makes a lot of sense, has a nice loyal following, but maybe it doesn't have distribution here, just let me know. I'd love to get some ideas and see what we can do for you guys. Otherwise, have yourself a fantastic rest of your week, and we will catch you on Monday morning at 7 o'clock Eastern for the next full-length video. All right, guys, have a great week. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.